Hello and what is up, guys? Right here, and welcome back to some more automation and of course BeamNG.drive. So today we're making a truck, and it's not going to be just a regular old truck. It's going to be the diesel trucks to end all diesel trucks. The goal of this truck today is to roll coal in BeamNG.drive, and we're going to do just that. If you guys don't know what rolling coal is, it is when diesel trucks do this and that and that. You know, people do them because it looks cool, I guess. But like, you know, don't do it. It's stupid. Okay, it's stupid. But we're gonna do it today in a video game because why not? So we're making like an updated version of a really old truck. It's gonna be like a 1970s body, but it's gonna be like 1980s technology. So it's gonna be a little bit newer, a turbo diesel V8 engine probably, or turbo diesel inline 6, something like that. Let's go ahead. Steel panels, because what else would you really have for a truck? Nothing else makes sense. Ladder frame chassis, not monocoque. That's wrong. You know what? Steel is cheaper, and we're American, so we don't need any of that newfangled material like corrosion-resistant steel. Let's go for a longitudinally mounted engine. For the front, we can go for independent front suspension, but the rear, we're going for solid axle leaps. We can go for a turbo diesel inline 6, but I really want to go for a turbo diesel V8. A 6.8 liter turbo diesel V8 sounds absolutely crazy, and I'm loving it. Now, this is going to be, for some reason, the game defaults to 2012 engine family years, so we always have to remember to change that back down to 1987. Let's go for a low cam profile, around 20 or so. Let's go for high compression. So what we're doing is sort of simulating a diesel engine, because we all know in automation, diesel engines do not exist. So we're going to try our best to make this engine make torque really low down, and see how that goes. It's going to be a single turbo. Diesel engines run at a much higher compression than a gas engine, so I want to give a higher fuel mixture just so we can push a higher compression ratio to sort of simulate diesel fuel. I know it's not perfect, but you know, it's the best we got. Let's go give it cast headers. We're going to give it no cats and mufflers. Now, this is because this is a modified truck that's going to be rolling coal, so everything's dying. Everything is dying. Let's lower the RPMs down to like, what, 2,500 RPM? Seems pretty diesel-esque for me, like a Cummins kind of diesel. The crank is absolutely dead. Let's give it a forged crank. And right off the bat here, no tuning at all of the turbo, and we make 703 pound-feet of torque, which is absolutely insane, and 180 horsepower, which actually seems bar the course for like a 1987 truck. The torque is bonkers. Alright, so it's not looking too bad, okay? We're making 450 pound-feet, which is much more realistic for like a high-end turbo diesel engine. 205 horsepower, which might be a little bit high, but that's okay. Okay. I did change to mechanical fuel injection, which is a little more realistic, I feel like. We are choosing this base two-door truck. It's going to be four-wheel drive, manual with a 4-speed and manual locking differentials. We're going to try to tow with this thing, maybe. Or like do some maybe off-roading. A 5-speed sounds good. We'll give it chunky off-road tires. Honestly, I think we'll give it chunky off-road just because it looks cooler. And we'll give it square tires. Like 245 is honestly pretty realistic, I think, for the time. And 16 inches also sounds pretty fine. Let's give it, though, a really meaty sidewall because that's going to look really cool. Let's keep it on steel wheels. Let's go for solid 3-piston brakes in the front, or 2 pistons in the front even. And let's go for drums in the rear, but large drum brakes because it's an old truck. We got to have those old-style brakes. We're going to give it no under tray. We will give it 2 seats is fine. We'll give it a bench seat, actually. A bench seat with standard. And let's give it no radio. No infotainment. It's a basic work truck that has been modified into a diesel lover's dream. Basic power steering, no traction aids. It gets a whopping 2.9 miles per gallon, which, you know what? That's 2.9 more than I was expecting, so we'll take that. But overall, it's actually looking pretty gosh darn mean. So what we're going to do now is, I think, design the truck. I might tune and tweak a little bit of stuff in between or off camera, but I want to keep this thing pretty much the same as it is, just better in every way. So let's design the truck, and then let's take a look at it in depth, and then hop into BeamNG.drive and see how it drives. So sit back, relax, guys, and of course, I hope you enjoy. Alright, guys, so we're designing our 1987-ish style pickup truck, starting off with a massive front grille. That's actually quite tall, but I do make it a little bit narrower. Then I overall go back to make it a little bit wider. So the grille is quite wide, and then we have this sort of housing for the headlights next to it. So it's got double layers of headlights. It's going to have the turn signals in the middle, and it's going to have this little bit of an open area underneath, which I've later changed to make it all a little bit bigger, so there's no open area underneath. I want to add a bulge on the hood. I go back to that later, adding one massive exhaust for now. The rear bumper is pretty much done. Go into the front end, adding the Maven M badge, and adding a little bit of details to the front hood, which I take too much time on, actually. It takes way too much time to make it look kind of good. So I go up and delete part of that, and then I keep what I had. Adding big old mirrors to the side, adding some very simple door handles, adding some bumper edge to the front, and adding a little bit of detail on the side, some like foot steps to get onto the truck bed, adding a side step because this is a slightly tuned or modified truck, changing the color to a nice gray/brown for now, which I do change later on to a bright yellow and black. And just changing things like the side skirts, changing them to sort of black as well, adding the wipers on, adding the gas cap to the back, adding actually dual gas caps technically. And the back end, it's going to be sort of similar layout to the front in the sense that there's going to be a housing area for the taillights, and it's indented basically like a stamping area in the tailgate. It's going to have a bit of detail there, just add some sort of flair to the back end. Adding a bit of a handle to the back tailgate. Now, thinking of a name, this is the Mastodon car. This is the biggest, baddest Maven vehicle possible. Adding some badges like turbo badges, 4x4 badges, EFI, and the Maven scripture on the back. Adding some mud flaps. And in front of us is the 1987 Maven Mastodon WHDT. Alright guys, so the vehicle is done. This is the 1987 Maven Mastodon WHDT. WHDT standing for Workhorse Diesel Turbo. This is like the basic bare bones trim car, but it is of course modified a bit with a few touches and amenities because obviously this is, you know, the year 2022 and someone obviously bought this truck and they made it roll coal. I mean, at least it's gonna roll coal in BeamNG.drive. It has got like a 70s, 80s kind of front end similar to some Fords, Dodges, and Chevys. Massive grille. We got the Maven M in the middle. A massive chrome and plastic bumper with some bumperettes there. License plate. We got huge knobby off-road tires. They're so knobby. Very small turn signals there as well. We got some bulges in the hood, a little bit of a hood bulge. You know, nothing wrong with a little bit of a bulge. We have some wipers there. Turbo badge on either side there. This is the turbo version of the diesel. We have a side step, which might be a bit modern, but then again, this is also a truck that someone would drive in, you know, 2022 and modify to roll coal. So maybe they install these aftermarket sort of steps to get into their truck. We have some mud flaps that are absolute chonkers, but I wanted them like that. We have a bit of a step there with some sort of rails there. It's got a lot of gravitas to it. The back end, quite simple. We have some Maven scripture there. We got a handle to open the trunk, 4x4, and an EFI badge, which probably in like 1987 would have been pretty gosh darn advanced, having like a turbocharged 4x4 electronic fuel injected vehicle, which is pretty advanced, I think. Maybe not as much for diesels, but you know, still it's pretty darn cool. And they want to sell that. We have this sort of detailing in the back trunk as well, this sort of these body lines there, very basic lights and a sort of surround similar to the front grille surrounds. So, you know, of course, a big old bumper, a step there, a massive step actually, and a huge can for an exhaust. Actually, I'm going to make this a little bigger. This has got to be large enough so you can fit your head in it, because that's what the people who buy these things or drive these things are thinking of. They want to be able to fit their head inside of the thing itself. Like, I swear, these trucks in real life, you can absolutely stick your head in. I think the basics are pretty much done, though. The truck is looking pretty good. It's a little simple, but it's nice and clean. We're going to hop into BeamNG.drive. I want to see how this thing drives. I want to see how it tows. You know what? It's good enough just to give it a good old college try, and just for a quick test, Reno. And we'll see you guys in BeamNG.drive in just a sec. Alright, so we're in BeamNG.drive with the Mastodon. It looks pretty good in BeamNG, the headlights, you know, just leave them on because that looks fine probably. I did tweak a few things in JBeam. I mean, the biggest thing I tweaked was obviously giving this thing the ability to roll coal, because it definitely rolls coal a lot more, but definitely we can do it. One thing I want to point out, though, is I may or may not have chose the wrong texture, and it looks like that's fine in the front, but that is not fine on the side there. I chose the wrong texture, but that's okay. Yeah, it's very slow. So far, so good, though. Like, it handles okay. I mean, we're on, like, dirt right now, so it's not gonna handle great, but, like, you know, with these big knobby off-road tires. Oh, yep, normal driving. Okay, we're good, normal driving. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention, though. I added after the fact, I gave our truck nuts. I mean, they're very like, nondescript nuts, but we gave our truck nuts. If you guys don't know what truck nuts are, it's like, you know, just Google truck nuts, you know, and you'll learn everything you want to know about truck nuts. So we added, oh yeah, there's a rock there. Well, we're climbing over it, I guess. No, we're not. No. Alright, so now to test the truck under some more normal circumstances. Obviously, you know, just driving here, like, on some normal, like, some cobble road, very normal circumstances here. Driving through some sand, again, very normal circumstances here. Driving through it perfectly fine. We're gonna brake, come into the mud. Look at that, see? No problems whatsoever with the Mastodon. The Mastodon? I don't know, whatever it's called. Alright, now to do some serious testing. We're going to test how far this car can go up the graded slopes up ahead. Let's just go in the mud right away. I want to see, this is an off-roader, obviously. A normal vehicle. We'll just go for it and send it. So full speed here. Can we do it? No lock diffs? No problem. What a beast. Let's try it again on maybe like the, maybe we can do the snow one. That snow one seems like a challenge. I'm liking the snow one. We can't even turn. We've got like no grip here at all. Okay, we're going. Easy peasy. I mean, usually I'll probably start from the bottom and go up, but you know what? We're going to cheat here. With the Mastodon, it's looking pretty good, honestly. It's handling pretty good. All right. We're going to do some more off-road testing. This is very important things for when we're rolling coal, okay? But we're not rolling coal every day. We want to go make sure this thing can off-road pretty well. Let's start like what is this, like a slope? Oh, wow, that is super steep. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're going to go low range here, first gear. Go to second low range probably. Okay, not as bad as I thought. It wasn't mud, it was only dirt. Okay, we're turning though. That's not a good sign. Oh, that's not good. Okay, so this is the East Coast USA D4 stage with the Mastodon. And you know what? It's an okay course, but we'll take it for a drive here. We're going to leave it all normal stuff. We'll try to not, like, put it in low range or anything. I've got a power torque graph on the left side with our 0 to 100 timer because, you know, that's important as well. Can we get to 100 in a straight line here? Oh, man, it's really heating up now. Wow, the thermals in this vehicle are going pretty whack. 11.8 to 100, which is pretty reasonable. Gonna brake. Alright, this is where it gets pretty intense. We're trying to do a very fast lap around this stuff. We're making great torque, though. It's so quiet. I've got the volume absolutely maxed out, so hopefully you guys can hear it. But like, you guys might just hear, like, the tires. But that's okay. 100 kilometers an hour in this thing would be absolutely terrifying. In, like, this, like, rally stage circuit. It's crazy. Oh, we're drifting it. Oh my god. This thing's actually a lot of fun to drive. There's a finish line. Look at that. That was a fun course. Not really an off-road course as much as I thought it would be, to be honest. But like, honestly, I think that's gotta be a reasonable time. 143 is, I've never done this track in my entire life, I don't think, or not for a long time, and apparently it's like a rally course, but actually not a bad time. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. I want to try a quick towing thing. We'll see if it can just tow like some buses and stuff, because I just want to see how much this thing can tow, and we'll finish off with that. Alright, so we're just in West Coast USA here. We've got a 2,100 kilogram weight trailer. It's got 2,100 kilograms of weight in the back. And we're just going to take it for a quick tow, because this thing is rated for like 500 pounds of towing. And I think that's a bunch of baloney. This seems to tow reasonably fine. But yeah, it's not going to get the best MPG. This is definitely like, oh, it's actually getting pretty slow. And this car is, it's not passing people in traffic, but it's doing its job. I love the trailer's like, we're just fishtailing it. Oh, that's scary. Oh god, the bumper fell off. Oh no, look, we're good. Look at that. See, this thing handles like a champ. Most trucks couldn't survive that, probably. I don't know. I'm not really an expert, but I feel like we did pretty well there. Okay, now was the trailer's fault. But you know what? It can tow. It can tow reasonably well. You know, it's not bad. Overall, decent truck. I'll leave a download link if you guys want to download it down below. But before we finish off, though, I want to give a huge shout out to my channel members. These are people who have went above and beyond to support the channel, and I love you guys. A big shout out to my big boy Turbo Ruben for being, you know, the best. He's awesome, and I appreciate you, bud. Thanks to my quad turbos, Undertaker, Childish Sin, and DD, man. You guys are awesome, and I really love you guys, too. Thanks to my TwinTurbros and everyone else as well. You guys are awesome. And I very much appreciate you guys. And of course, as always, I will see you guys next time.